but still enough where you
But
want to get back involved.
I like doing that.
Right.
I like to work with the people. I have a lot that I can offer the people. I own a business. I pay the taxes. My kids go to the schools. We're very community oriented. Myself and my family, we're involved in 4-H, Masons, very heavily involved in our church, Faith United Methodist Church. So I'm a community person.
Your kids appear on our society pages more than
yeah. 4-H kids.
Yeah, they enjoy it. We enjoy it, and you know what? We're 5th generation farmers there, and they're there for hopefully 6th generation.
Yeah,
that's great.
And win or lose the election, I'm still in the town of Somerset, and I'm proud to be there. So.
Right. Let's see what else. Questions again? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just wondering, are you looking into, or are there shared services between the town and the village, or is that something that would be beneficial, or?
We have had shared services. When I was, again, supervising town council, our water department and our highway department both worked with the village. If there was a problem with water, then our crews would go down there and they help out and take care of that, assist the village with that problem. Our highway does the same thing. If there's heavy snowfall and their streets need to get cleared, prior to people going to work or busing going down there for the kids, our highway superintendent certainly puts his crews to help out in that case also.
Okay, so you have a good relationship between the town and the village.
Yeah. At least when I was there, we certainly did. Okay. I worked well with the police force also. We negotiated a contract with them, but it was fair and equitable on both sides, and the contract still is intact and viable today. So, yeah.
What's your thought on the current supervisor and asking the controller to look in on the spending that the board is doing, as far as the town attorney? Yeah.
When I was in there as supervisor, all the attorney's bills were scrutinized by everybody.
Right.
Each person has the opportunity to look at those bills. Right. We contract with the attorneys to do a job for us, and they are doing that job and have done that job very well. The state controller's office coming in and looking at that, I have absolutely no problem at all with them doing that. Our books have been maintained. They've been scrutinized prior to this, and I welcome them to come in and do that because there's nothing to hide there.
Right. Okay, nothing to hide, but can the residents, or do the residents want to afford what the attorney's charging? Is he charging a fair wage based on the work?
In my opinion, he charges a fair wage. He charges $175 for litigation, which is one of the cheaper ones around. Okay. To have an attorney who can litigate in municipal law, they're a little bit more hard to find. We certainly have one here in Lockport. Has been working for the town for about 40 years. Cost-wise, when you have 4 assessment lawsuits that are brought against you, and by state law, you know as well as I do that we have to defend that. Oh, sure. You got 4 of those lawsuits. We were also involved in a DEC town lawsuit with the landfill, which we were successful. We won that. And we won that both for the people in Somerset, environmental issues. That is a completely Part 360 secured landfill, double lined, nothing's going to leach out, so it protects our environment and protects our resident. Costs money to litigate. Sure. I mean, it costs money. We had to bring in expert witnesses. We had to bring in expert attorneys in those fields to help with that litigation. So it looks like a lot of money, and I'll tell you what, I agree. It looks like a lot of money, but what we're getting for our buck is, in my opinion, worth that expense. And it's not, the entire budget. Right. If you go down and look at some expenses with some of the other parts of the budget. They certainly can be, depending on what you're doing. If you're building new roads, sure, you're going to have an outlay of money. Or if you're doing a master plan, and maybe a lakefront development or a PUD or something like that, that's going to cost you a lot of money in engineering fees. Right. So, Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's money, in my opinion, it's well worth being spent.
So you haven't heard enough saying otherwise, on the campaign trail or anything like that, where people are saying, what are we doing spending this money? People are in favor of
people ask the question.
Oh, okay.
People are asking the question about the attorney's fees, and my response back to them is kind of what I just told you.
Yeah.
This is where we are when you're involved in that heavy lawsuits and that amount of litigation. It's going to cost money, and it is ultimately saving us as taxpayers, the dollars.
Have you also heard the complaints that I guess again your opponent, the current supervisor, came in and said that when this Gallisano wind energy firm was there negotiating with the town, somebody pulled him aside and said, we were one comment away from, or one more, you can't do that here type comment, that the attorney was expressing to this firm away from just pulling out and going elsewhere, that the negotiations went that badly, I guess, or that he made it so tough on them.
Well, actually,
I don't know if that's true or if that,
Well, as what it was, they've been in the current supervisor wanted a host community agreement signed without any discussion.
Oh, okay.
And the four councilmen have been there long enough to know you got to discuss them.
Sure.
You've got certain parts of that host community agreement that need to be opened up. Not everything works in another township that will work in our town.
Right.
So I applaud the councilman for looking at those avenues of that host community agreement. And I believe they're close to having something done at this time. And I know at the last meeting, both attorneys, the attorney for Gallisano's group and the town's attorney, are going to get together to make sure the legal language is okay. They'll bring that back to the board, and then the board will, make a recommendation, A or nay on that.
So is there any possibility that he could be holding up projects, and you've ever heard that complaint before?
He's not been holding them. In my opinion, he hasn't held up the wind energy. I've been to the meetings, I've sat there as a citizen, and I'm thankful that they're investigating this to make sure that we can get the best deal. And that's what it is. We got to get the best deal. We're losing X number of dollars in assessment with this pilot. We got to have a good deal. And if they don't look at all the avenues, then we're not. We haven't done our job, and that's that's my opinion on that.
Anybody else have any questions?
Good.
No. All right, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks.